Yes, I identify as a European. I was maybe 9, 10 years old when my mother took me to a protest, to the Kartha protests that were, uh, you know, first major sort of marches in Hungary, and it was really cold. It was dark. I wasn't allowed to skip school, and but I felt the mood, and I enjoyed sort of the crowd and the people and the vibe, and that's mostly what I can remember from being there. Uh, and when I asked her what this is and why we are here, she explained to me in a very adult manner what it is, and that parliamentary elections and democracy and the whole shenanigan, and then she started identifying all this with Europe, that Hungary wants to be part of Europe, and we are going to be part of Europe, and I the first moment I really started to understand it is when I started seeing it in practice. So we were driving to Vienna, and then in the 80s, it was a 5-hour trip, 6-hour trip because of the border crossings, and even before we joined the EU, those crossings became much much shorter, and I started seeing the practicalities. But my first major memory of hearing about Europe and what it is to be European was that we were marching on the streets, and it was a big thing for my mother because she said, like, you know, we're not getting shot, and you can march in the streets, and it's a good thing. Orban's rise to power. It's I firmly believe that tyrants may rise, but they always, without exception, fall in history. And but this was the impetus. It was the catalyst for so many other far right parties all across Europe that could gain ground. I mean, he really started it all. And if you look carefully back to '98 when he first came to power, all these signs were showing already. It just they didn't have the capacity nor the practice behind them to fully enable it. But they learned their lesson, and when they came back in 2010, they came back with the intent not to leave, and that sort of started the whole, in my view, the whole Brexit deal with the polls and everything. Even prior to him, when sort of lesser threats arose, if you recall Haider, for instance, yeah, guy died in a car crash, and it didn't upset Europe. This guy did. I had a great time at the Venice Film Festival. It was the I went to an international school in Budapest, but had it not been for the enabling of what came from open borders and from the free movement of goods and people and workforce, I could not do what I do. I all the films and TV shows that I'm involved with. I'm writing one now for Apple that is being directed by a Polish Jew who was born and raised in Austria. One of our producers is British, who lives in Portugal, and the other producer is Icelandic, who lives in Sweden. And then there is me, and this group is doing a series for Apple in America. This for me is Europe. Zero emissions and zero waste.